Hi everyone. Thanks for coming back to my crafty desk and hanging out with me today. My name is Sandra and I am going to sew a signature in today. We'll add some of the pockets and tucks that we've already created. We'll get those in here as well. As time permits, we'll move forward on decorating and getting things filled in. But first off, I want to go ahead and sew this signature in. So I do have a pin right here. I'm going to go ahead and just take this out because I will attach that in a minute, but not while I'm sewing the signature in, because that will end up somewhere where it's not supposed to be. So I keep my little sewing kit in my cute little box here that I got at one of those vintage markets or an estate sale. I'm not really sure. If it was an estate sale, that's a high chance, but I find such cool stuff there, and I love keeping my stuff in cute little things like this. So I keep all my sewing parts in this little bag here. And then these tapes I've used quite often to help secure the spine to give it a little bit more reinforcement. I know I'm going to need these 4 clips. I'm going to take those out. These tapes, the way I use these, let me move this out of the way, is this is actually in the, oh my gosh, what's it called? It's Transpore 3mm tape. And I find this where the ace bandages and things like that are. I believe that's where I got this stuff. And I came across it because when I had my hand surgeries, I had to buy different tapes. And I thought, oh, I really like, you can tear it kind of like washi tape. So see how easy that is? It's a little stickier than washi tape, but I liked that it was clear. It gave me some texture if I wanted it other places. But on the spine, this is what I originally bought it for, and I like the texture. I need to just keep one roll in there. I'm going to keep these ones out. I would tape my spine down before my fabric went in. But even if I didn't, and I needed it to go on afterwards, look at that. It's just clear. It goes right through, and it's just texture. So who would know that you were doing that, right? They're just think it's texture because it's layering. Layer, layer, layer. My best friend. So anyhow, little tip there. So we're going to get the signature sewed in. We've got the eyelets, that's the word, set in the journal already so that we can get the cording through. And I'm going to close that and snap it shut so I don't knock it over. I'm going to open up my little bag here, which I love this little thing. Not 100% positive, but this may have come from 31 bags in a kit. I'm not really sure. My friend Brianne is the one that bought this for me, and it came in, I think, another little bag. So take out my awl, and I'm going to choose my cording here. And I think, so I've got a few different colors. Oops. And I know I'm going to need a needle, so take that out. Let's see. This is nice and colorful, and the thread's going to come through the middle. So I also want to keep in mind when I'm punching my hole. See, I have this saying here, and I don't want to rip it or anything. So I know I'm going to measure this in here to come down for my first hole. A lot of time people keep it up high, but I guess I could do that too. But I don't really want the cord to go through this, so I think I'm going to come down low. I think it'll be just fine. So here is my cover, and here is my middle. Let's see what color thread, since we have a choice. I remember when I first started this, I didn't have a choice, and I thought I need to have choices. So I have some thread, I have some cords that are not waxed, and I have a beeswax here somewhere, a stick of it, but I have no idea where I set it at the moment because, I mean, it should be in this box, but I didn't see it in there. And if I want to use that, I would just run it through my beeswax. Let me just check it really quick and make sure it's not in there. Oh, nope, that's not it. Okay, let me check. Kind of nice to see somebody do it, but my apologies. It won't be on this one. Maybe it'll be on another one. So we won't choose those. I want a wax thread. I find it to be a lot easier and smoother to pull through, and it doesn't. And I'm kind of a little tight. I'm a tight tugger, so I'm more likely to do a little rip. So how about this pink? I think the pink will be, I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm gonna set that over there and get the black in there. I don't need that one out. I don't need the green. Come on, this less is more here, girl. So I just recently purchased one of those little tools that you put your book in and you punch through, but I didn't realize I would have to order a new awl that would fit through there, so I am not able to use that today, but that's okay. That is okay. Maybe it's good if you haven't sewn a signature in yet. You can see me do it, and I'm a little fumbly as my hands like to kind of run the show sometimes without any forewarning to me. So I feel like I'm just the queen of secrets. You know, I have of my little secret spots where if something's gonna go wonky, it's gonna happen, and that's fine. I've learned it my whole life. I just learned to deal with it and kind of move forward, and I choose to take the majority of them anyways as an opportunity to learn something new and try something different. So, and then every once in a while, I just have to, you know, tear it up and throw it away. And that's okay too. So knowing that I'm going to come down, I don't want to go through here. I got to really think about this. I'm actually thinking maybe if I'm going to make this, I'm going to come in through here. I do want to keep it as tall as I want. So I'm going to just measure that down for my first hoe. And I think I should come up a little bit higher. And I think, what do you think? I think if I go right up in there, it should be fine, right? I think so. I think that'll be fine. So I'm going to go all the way to the tippy top. Actually, I guess I should get that straight. So I did trim down the pages, and they're exactly fine. Can't say they're exactly where I want everything. They're exactly fine. So they will all work nicely. And then I'm just going to lay that down gently. I'm not the fastest sewer here, so I know where'd my ruler go? I'm at my pencil. Where'd my pencil? I need it. So I think 1.5 inches is gonna be, if I came up higher, no matter what, if I go between that one, if I hit that 1.5 inch spot, I'll be fine. Perfect. Perfect. So let's get this closed up. And I'm just going to stick my ruler down in there since I don't have that fancy little tool. I want to get it as tight a fit as I can. I feel fairly confident that I do this part good, just because if you've watched my videos, you've seen me toss my journals all over the place because for whatever reason I toss things, grab them and shove them, and they're all still together. So that's always good. I'm going to take these clips. And for me, when I'm done with my clips, I always put them back in this position. It's a helpful tip if you do have any kind of, I don't know. My hands don't always work right, so I want them already ready. So they're already ready to clip. I don't have to keep fumbling with them. And when you have your journal all ready to be clipped in, it's a big bummer to have to let it go and try to fiddle with these things. So there we go. I'm going to scooch that guy on. Scoochy scooch. Turn it around, opposite on the bottom, and get my ruler back in there. Just really give it a push down. And so also, if you remember when we cut the pages, so the journal is 9 by 6.5, 9 by 6, and I cut the length of the pages to 8.5. So what that allows me to do, when I remember to do this, is if for whatever reason some of these pages slip back and forth while I'm doing this process and sewing them in, which that happens, they're still going to be within that cover, which is great. And that just gives me other areas of decorating if I don't like it. You know, if I want them all to be a little bit different or match a little bit more, I can go in and add lace or trims and just different things. There's just options. You know, it's a junk journal. You can do whatever you want. So, and we are going to cover this up. Wait till you see. I'm so excited. So, I just want to kind of see, where am I going to line this up at? In there. I think that's a good spot right there. So what I'm going to do is see, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna grab a book. This should work. I just want something to punch my holes into. So I want to keep it all together like that, and I'm doing a soft cover, and I don't have it too terribly reinforced. I mean, I might find a couple little difficulties here, but it's going to be fine for the most part. I'm just going to set my book in there, and if you want to be extra careful, you can even secure your signature to this thing, but I'm not going to do that. I just want to get my one in the middle here. So I'm just going to stick it in the center. If you can see that, stick it down in there in the seam, in the spine, in the inside spine. Is that a seam then? We don't know. Okay, stick it down, and I'm going to give it a good push, and I'm going to twist. I like to twist it. I like my hole to be a little bit on the larger size. It makes it easier for me to find where I'm going to come in. So, oh, also, I like to leave it in there and turn it, because I want to see if it poked through the fabric. Do you see what I'm saying? And it did, barely right there. So then I just can let it go, because I know everything's in there. And I do it this way because then when I take this off of here, I'm going to still be able to find my holes. So now I'm going to pull it back up. It's all the way through, and it's going to leave it in there for a second. And then I'm going to, I don't know what I did with my needle. There it is. I'm actually going to take my needle. I'm going to take my awl out, and I'm going to stick my needle in there. There, and just kind of leave it in there, and that's going to kind of hold my book together. And I learned that trick from Treasured Books, I believe, and that was from Natasha. I believe that's who I learned that from. So I love her channel. Let me get back in the frame here. So I guess I don't have to measure the 1.5 inch, because I can kind of see where I'm going. Right here. Right there. Yeah, I want it in between it there. That's good. That's a good spot. And then I'm going to give it a good hard shove and twist. Pull it out. And then I'm just going to, and you can measure if you want to. I'm going to not worry about it. I'm going to go down here. You know, the one thing I didn't do is I didn't double check to make sure all my papers were in the right order, but we will find out. We'll see if my regular sized head is in the camera in a minute. Sorry. All right. So that's how I do it. And I'm not going to see that hole there, but that's okay. I want to make sure it went all the way through. And this, I'm probably doing it the hard way, but this is my method. I should have brought my pliers over here, but I did not do that. And there we go. I felt that would go through. And then I can see my hole right here. So I'm going to just go ahead and make my hole a little bit wider to make my sewing a little bit easier. And this one went off center a little bit, but that's okay. I can see my poke right here. I think I actually have 2 pokes there, but that's okay too. It all goes together. There, now it's right in the middle. See? Okay. Now that excruciating part is done, I'm going to go ahead and get this sewed in. Let's do, and everybody says 3 lengths. I always end up with a little bit extra, but I'd rather have extra than not enough. So, and we are going to definitely put dangles on this one, because I do like doing the dangles. So we're going to go length. We're going to go 1, 2, and a 3. There we go. And then throw that back in the package. Throw that back in the package. And get my thread in here. There we go. Oops. And then let's make a knot. That's always fun. So let's take that apart. All right, so I'm just gonna do, it's called the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I'm gonna stick it right in the middle. You can, You can start this in different areas, but this is what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna stick it right there in the middle, and I'm gonna pull that through. This is where I like to have my pliers so I can pull it, but push it and pull. And then I'm not gonna worry about the tightness yet. And then you can go to the top or to the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the top. I can already see how I tore it a little bit, so I wanna make sure, I wanna see what we're gonna have to fix that with. So I have one signature, this is easy. I'm just gonna put that through there first. I have too much tail. It's right there, so I'm gonna take that off. Okay, and then I'm gonna keep this folded. It makes it easier. Whoops. Let me just rip the whole thing apart. I think it makes it easier. We'll find out. Just kind of got to fiddle with it until you get it in. Yep, and it went right in. I had to open a tiny bit. So this is where I want to kind of be careful. There. Now, I want to pull that through because I want my tail. If you can see that, let me see if I can move some stuff out of the way. I know I want dangles, so I need to make sure this piece is going to be down. After it's tied, is it still going to hang down for a dangle? Making sure I still keep enough of my tail on here so I don't lose my needle. You know what I'm saying? Now this, I'm going to go ahead and just give it a little bit of a tug, just to pull it through and get that down. I'm going to come through this one, pulling it through, and then finding my little hole here, and then, which I made larger. Now you can see all of that is loose. That's fine for a moment. This is where you want, this is the way I do it. This is where I really want to start tightening it up. So if I can get my hands to work. So I know I want to get that tight. That. I'm going to hold this now and pull that. See? Just kind of pulls it all back in. And then we'll double check that in a minute. We're going to go back in through the middle where we started. And I can see my line right there. So I'm going to poke it right here to the side. There we go. I just realized I've been sewing with my left hand, so I don't know why, but that's all right. When I was a little girl, I was always so worried, and I don't know why. I was a worrier. I worried about all kinds of stuff. I was worried that one day I would not have my right hand since I was right-handed. And what would I do? Because I loved, even then I liked to do stuff. Okay, I'm going to have a hard time finding that. There we go. And so I used to practice writing all the time and doing different things with my left hand. I figured if I could do it with my right hand, I could do it with my left hand. Boy, was I going to try anyways. So, and I ended up having those 2 hand surgeries, so one at a time. So when I had my right hand done, there's like a 3-month healing process where you just can't do anything, like even picking up a piece of paper. So I became left-handed for a while, and it actually improved. I mean, I was writing left-handed. Not as fast, obviously, but yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, see, I didn't leave my tail long enough to do a long dangle there, but I don't think it needs to be that long. If I want it longer, I could definitely, play with these papers, or these threads. I don't think I'm going to, though, because that, that's already not that as happy as I would like it to be. So, you can, now if you've seen, I pulled my threads onto both different sides, and I just want to make sure this is going to be tight enough. I'm going to open this up, see how they're kind of loose? I want to tighten them up a tiny bit more. So I'm going to take the one I just pulled in there, and I'm going to pull that tighter. Trying not to rip my pages. And sorry you can't see this for a second, but I gotta be able to work with this. I'm gonna take these off for a minute. I think that might help me. If you hear loud noises, it's my husband outside. He's on his Bobcat thingy, doing some rock moving or placement. We try to every year do a little bit more. We save up and then we just try to do a little bit more on our house. Get it to where we like. And we enjoy doing it. I enjoy picking it. He enjoys doing it. I enjoy looking at it with him, so that's good. And then I'm gonna do that, and then tie it again. I think I'm doing it the backwards way so that it's just a bit tighter of a knot. There we go. And voila, there you have it. Now, wouldn't that be funny if I did do that upside down? It would be so hilarious. It's so hilarious. And it wouldn't be the first time. Okay, so now I'm just gonna, now what I like to do is just give it a little tug. See? Everything's great. Everything's great. I feel like if I wasn't having to just be still, I would be doing a little happy dance right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this for now, but you can see how I tore my paper a little bit because I made my holes big. That's okay. We can do something to help strengthen that, and it doesn't have to be right on top of here. It can be back here. See? We can just put some tape right there, and then it can be folded. It's easy. So we have that down. That's sewn in. Now I want to do my fun thing. I'm so excited. So I think I already showed you, we made the belly band. But if no, or maybe I didn't. I did sewing off camera because I don't have a way to sew on camera. I don't even know if anybody wants to see me sew on camera. If you do, let me know. And at some point I will try to figure out how to get that set up. I think I have the video thing figured out about uploading and I've got it now uploading to my computer right away, and that takes it faster. Then I can get it off my phone, and then I can turn off all my apps again on my phone, and I can go back to recording so I can get a couple of videos done a day, which is nice. I'd like to do at least 3 a day. Since I'm down here working that long anyhow, or longer, I might as well capture what we're doing so I can move forward. And okay, so we have some things made. I had this. The piece I'm looking for, oh, here it is. So we did some sewing. So I sewed, I don't know if I showed you, so I sewed the belly band. I did some fun squiggly lines everywhere on this. I used that gold fabric. There's this fabric, and then this fabric right here. But then when I laid it on the page, all my pages are so busy, I thought I needed something else to break it up. I felt like this is solid, but I put a design on it. This is solid, but it has a design, and then I put that thread to kind of help pop it out. And so when I put it on top of a piece like this, I felt like it just gave it its own little backdrop, just slightly, but you'll see like if I put it on any page that has pattern. So there you go, there's with it, and there it is without. So I think it looks fine without, but I think it gets lost in this. I don't think it stands out on its own. I think with this, I feel like you can still see the edges back there, so you know there's some more fun going on. And but this gets to be the star on the page like it's supposed to be. So that's why I did that. Then this is the heart that I found earlier, that I had showed earlier. There was a pillowcase, and it's got that wonderful embroidery on there. And I'm not the world's greatest sewer, so I wanted the squiggly line, and I got it. But I did go through the embroidery, and I kind of went off the heart. But it's okay. I'm okay with it. And it's a junk journal. And I thought about using it as a belly band. So when I was closing everything up and putting it away, I set everything in the front usually. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is going to work. So I needed to cover up these glue spots that popped through. I think this is going to do the trick. And I mean, you can see a couple little pieces, but I'm not really worried about that. When we stick a tag in there, or a journal card or anything like that, which I had some set right here to use, and I probably put them away when I was cleaning up. I probably did. So anyways, I'll just use this. So if we have it down on both sides, then the journal card would come through like this. Maybe I did show that on the video already, but isn't that so cute? I love it. I really love it. And so that can just go right down into that pocket. This pocket can still be utilized. I mean, it'll cover up maybe depending on how big the heart, but I think it's okay. I think it works. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these threads off. But I I don't know. I'm a new sewer, so I don't know how to, if you even can backstitch when you do these funky things, but I don't think my machine does that. If it does, I don't know how to do it. So because of that, I'm just gonna cut these off, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of glue down there just to seal the deal. Whoops. We'll just use this stuff right here. And I'm just gonna put a squirt on my finger. I'm just gonna put some right here just to you know, over the threads. There we go. So I glued this to this paper already. And then I cut it around it, and then I sewed, and I sewed just to kind of help to kind of unify them together, and then to give it that little added, I touched to this, you know, everything has to have your touch. For me, that's how I feel. So I love when I'm looking through a journal that I've received from someone, whether it's a gift or I purchased it, and I love seeing all the little touches. I love knowing that everything was like, a little extra was added to it by them, no matter what it is. Even if it's a sticker, like, it's just little things. It's the little things. So this is just gonna get sewed in. I thought about sewing it, but I don't think that's gonna work. So we're just gonna go ahead and do the edges here. I'm gonna use this that I just closed, because I know this works on paper, fabric, plastic, all that good stuff. And we're just gonna go like this, and I'm just gonna give it a nice good there. And then we're gonna go right there. So I feel good about that placement, making sure it's not on the there. There we go. There we go. And she's down. So one thing in, yippee-ki-yay. What the heck did I do with those tags? Oh, let's see. I'm sure I'll find them as soon as I'm done with the video. So then I have a list here. Gotta stick with the list. Here's some things I messed up and I had to redo. So see, I tore it up, but I'm gonna use them still. I tore them more, I could use them. Oh, I was thinking this might work in here too. I found this in my stationery pack. Isn't that beautiful? And look at all that journal space. This is a Hallmark. Hallmark, Toronto, Canada. So, ooh, I'm excited. I'm gonna go going to Canada next weekend. See, and you can still see the heart. I think that's cute. And even if I wanted to cut that down and put it in this way, you know, it would still go in and that would still pop out. Or do I have to cut it, or can I just fold it? I have another one in my stash. I'm gonna just try that and see. Maybe if I fold it, it can go exactly where I want, like a little bit out, just like a peekaboo. How far down can my pocket go? There we go. Like a little peekaboo. Oh my gosh, I have these little glue things everywhere. So let's go like that, like that. Do you like that better? I kind of like that better. I feel like it gives it a little bit more puffiness in that pocket, and then I can always stick something else in there if I want. And that tag's gonna go in. So the tag I had pulled to use as a demonstration has a ruffle on it. That's why I was hoping to use it, so we could see how pretty that is. Well, that's okay. It'll pop up somewhere, or if not, we'll just make it and we'll see it then. So I know the front of this is gonna have this little bag on there. The bag still needs to be decorated, and it's not decorated yet. But now that I have the signature sewed in, I'm gonna go ahead and just paper clip this to this. Whoops. So this bag's gonna go here. It's gonna have, this book belongs to. Just gonna kind of get these done here. Whoops. So the Crazy Cat Lady, I've got her information. She had sent it to me last Friday. I forgot to check my email that day. That's crazy. But so her journal is going to be going out to her. It'll have already been sent out to her by the time you see this video. So I'm excited for her to get it. The first one was in a local one here to me. This one's going outside the state of Washington. So exciting. And I'm excited. I'm just so excited. I'm excited to give them away. Isn't that crazy? But I really am. It's fun. We're going to do the flip through of the next journal giveaway on this Friday, which is, I think, the 7th. So pockets go in. Pockets are going to be all, I want to sew them around. Oh, this is my list of what to do. I have another list here of where they go. Good night. What'd I do with it? Shoo. I know they go right here. I'm not going to worry about it. We'll find the list. It's in my stash of stuff here. Those are going to be made into top tags. Here we go. So I was going to make a little thumb impression in these for the journal cards to go into, and then I decided not to, because I see that black line, which I guess it really is not that big of a deal. However, I was thinking I want to add some trim because I like to add stuff. I like layering. And oh my gosh, I moved this stuff out of the way so that I could sew that journal in, and this is where I put the tags. I knew they were going to be right in front of me. So let's just go back real quick and show you. So like, for instance, if we use a tag like this, which this one is not the one we'll use. I didn't make this one either. This was made by somebody else. But, so that'll go down in there. See? That's what I wanted to show you. So even with this right here, isn't that so cute? And then when it's closed, it's just more ruffle. I'm going to leave that in there now to remind me to make one like that. So I did that. I did all that to show you this. What if I took a trim? This might be too big. That's not the one I wanted. Good Lord, let's see. And we put like a little, oh, I guess that would work. Isn't that cute? I better just cut it right now and get it on there. So we'll do, maybe I'll glue it down first and then do that. That makes more sense. All right. All right, all right. I want to get a couple of these things in here before we're done with this video. So, mainly this video was to put that heart on. I'm so excited about that, and to sew the signature in. So I would like to get a couple of these pockets in before we go ahead to the next stage of this journal. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put this on here on this page. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work with the outside edge. And I kind of want the green to frame it. So just kind of sticking it on there like that. And then getting that down, so. And then this will hold a journal card, tag, or paper to write on, to journal on. And I'm gonna go ahead and just push that down a little bit there. And then I said I wanted to put this on here like that. Oh, I don't know. Is it too blendy? Is it too blendy? Now I'm just kind of wondering. So maybe that isn't the one. That's okay. There's plenty more to choose from. Let me tell you. There's plenty more. Let's see what I have on my desk. What do I have just at my, ooh, isn't that pretty? Can I find the end of it though? We'll just cut off a chunk and throw it back over there. Okay, let's do that. I think that, and that kind of just helps break it up. The reason why I like to do the thumb impressions is because I like the way it breaks. It shows the tip of the pocket. Not that you can't tell, but it does. That to me is like unfinished edge. And if it had a thumbprint, it would be fine. But since it doesn't, I feel like it needs a little extra. So let's extra it. I'm just gonna go run down the side here like so. I'm gonna go off of it a little bit because I made this a little bit bigger so it can go off the edge. Take my finger and I'm just gonna spread it. I don't want it to go over that edge because I don't want it to seal the pocket shut. A lot of times I'll put the wax paper down in there first, but I was not thinking about that just now. And then you have your inside out and your outside out, or right inside, right side. I like the threads. I like the texture of it, so I'm gonna put it this way. Sometimes it's not pretty to me with the thread showing, but this one is. I like it. So there it goes, and there she goes. Now, if I didn't have a sewing machine and I wanted to have that sewed look, there's stamps that you can get if you have access to those. And if not, I've also used my markers and my pens to make little zigzags and doodles and things like that around the edges, which I think are also quite nice because that's just an artistic touch to it, you know? It's an added touch. That's all it is, and it's so awesome. So now we have a pocket. So if we took this journal card, which I don't know if it's gonna fit in here. Okay, and look how cute that is, and with the little kitty sticking out. So even though this is already sewed, I'm gonna go ahead and take my corner rounder and just, I'm gonna give them all a rounding we shall do. Whoops, if I can get it in there. So, there. And it's gonna cut those threads, which that's fine. If I need to go around, by and put a little added glue or something on there to make it happy, I can. So now, this is nice and stiff. It's been in there a while, lots of glue, and it's a thicker piece, but it's gonna save those edges, and I think it just slides a little bit easier. Isn't that cute with the little kitty sticking out? I love it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Let me know if you love it. So this is cute. We can put a label or something there. We can even put like another little pocket there. I'll come back to finishing up decorating later, but sometimes I'd like to put like another little pocket with a little tag in there, and I think this would be the perfect spot for that, if I remember. And look at me gluing my pages together. So the next page is, it wants a, I still haven't found, so this will be, we'll be doing that same pocket. Oh, look, I was gonna pick my signature up and take it out. Right here, that's where that one will go. So you don't need to see me do that twice. We'll just pop this in where it goes. Help clean up the desk area. So the next thing is, why can't I find my list? Lordy. Let's see, it's over here somewhere. Why don't we just do this? We have the belly band. We have all those, don't go here. Here's the frames we were working on. I really wanted to do that. This one, that might have to go in the next episode though. It's kind of a little bit more involved. Journal cards, this is to make also, and to finish making. It would not surprise me if I tossed it because I thought it was garbage. I thought that the list that I just had was the list. But I did write it down where I wanted everything. Well, so when that happens, we just keep moving forward. So basically, I wanted something on every page, and I'm pretty sure that this was the next page. I was going to do those frames. So I did get one frame done. I wanted to show one frame done and do one frame on the video though. That's my thing. That's why I wanted to wait, but maybe we won't. No, we're gonna wait. It's gonna be more involved. So, but I can show you what I did so far. So these frames we cut out, and I wanted to use the backing of the acetate to put on there so that we can slide something in and out. And so in doing that, I realized, oh, I'm gonna cover up, I'm gonna have a lot of extra, and that was fine too. And I was like worried that I was gonna have all this extra. So what I did is I took the acetate and I used some glue. That I actually used that glue that says it glues everything. And so I used that, and it's kind of bubbly, but that's okay, where it didn't seal down all the way. It's part of the junk journal process. So then I realized, you know, it's not gonna cover up enough, for me, in my mind. It's not gonna, when that comes out, I think that looks funny when the tag comes out. I guess that's there. So, I don't know. I feel like there's not enough breakup. Does that make sense? So I decided that, like the other one, I can let some of that show, and I could put a backing on it. I can just take another card and put that like that. So that would be this would go on like this, like so. And then, so the frame would then go to this. And then this would be sealed together. I hope I'm making sense. And then my tag, if I had one ready, it would just go in there like this. So it would slide in there like this, and the tag would have a topper. See? And then we'd have a pretty design on the inside. I like that better. Tell me what you think about that. This is going to be on the next video, and we're going to do all this attaching with this one. and its card together so you can see what I did. I already pre-cut the holes, so we can do all that together. So we'll skip that page for a moment. And I think the green page, this is where the fabric flip is going. So like I said, I didn't sew this, it was an afterthought, and I wanted to put this on the background. That green, everybody knows, drives me absolutely bonkers. So I like it like that though. I like that little bit, that's really pretty. But we still need the journaling spot. So the journaling spot can come in a minute, but we want to get this attached. So everything's all sewn. You can absolutely sew this to your page. I used to sew them to the pages, but I actually like sewing them first and then attaching them to the page, because then I'm not compromising the page. It's paper. It's not compromising it with something heavy being sewed to it and being tugged on. And also, after I glue this on there, I feel like it gives it a little bit more structure and stability. So it's a win-win this way in my book. So I'm going to go ahead and use this glue again. And I know I'm going to put this down, and I didn't sew it, but that's okay. Where do I want it? I want it right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and put glue here. It doesn't have to go to the top for me because I like that fringy part. And a little fun play up there. It may get sealed up later on. It just depends on how it kind of, you know, comes together. So when I'm putting these on here, and I've learned from trial and error, and I'll probably still make some errors. That's okay. I used to, the first time I ever did it, I got it all the way out. I thought I had to fill the whole page, and then it was like inside my seam, and it wasn't not happy. So I had to go in and cut it while it was everything, the signature was sewed in, everything was done, and that was not easy. But it led to lots of opportunities, lots of secret fixing opportunities. So just get some of these excessive threads out of there. Now we're going to put this on, and so I like to go right on the thread here. Get my glue. Be a little. I'm not gonna be stingy with my glue on this. So there we go. And then that lays down, and then I'm just gonna do this. And I think I want a little bit of that on the top too, because that's just more layering, right? Yeah. Yeah. And then making sure that I have, because this isn't all like the same sizes, I wanna make sure that the bottom is coming like kind of forward and that it's not in that seam. I don't mind if it comes off the edge here a little bit, but my goals for this were to make sure I seen some of that fabric at the top, some of the, and on the sides here, and not interfering with my seam. There we go. Happiness. All right, so let me check the time here. Okay, it looks like we got a little bit more time. I'm gonna go ahead and get another couple things in I think that we are ready to do. So I know on the green side for this one, I made a belly band with the fabrics, but that's still way too much green for me. So I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe all it needs is a little bit of gesso, which if you have never used this or heard of this, I know I never did until I, when I first started watching the videos and everybody with the, I'm getting glue everywhere, doing this type of projects. So I had to go look it up, and then I thought, oh my gosh, there's other projects that I did with painting and everything that this was just gonna come in handy. Normally, I have a little dish here, and there we go. Right here, we'll just use this one. I try to keep little things handy. My desk's always messy, but I do keep things handy, so I like get a little bit of this in here. Maybe I'll do that first. There. Okay, we don't need much of this. And then I like to store that upside down. I'm just gonna grab a little paintbrush here. I've got, oops, I don't have any water, but, I don't have any water ready. I have my water that I'm drinking. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit of water on the side here. Tiny bit, just because that's so thick. Take a drink while I have it open. Why not? I'm gonna wet my brush. And then it looks like I might have a little more than I wanted, so I'm gonna sop some of it up with my baby wipe. See? Everybody's getting used today. And then I just want to just get that a little bit more wet, not soaking wet, but, and so gesso dries really fast. It's, you can make it as translucent or as opaque as you like. And it just, you just got to kind of play with it. And to see what works best for you. And then a lot of times I end up finger painting with it. It just depends. I think this is gonna work. I'm just gonna go in one direction, I think, for now, just to kind of be more purposeful with it. The other thing, so the gesso, you can add different medias on it afterwards, so that's nice. You can write on it, you can use marker on it. So maybe I'll just do the whole thing. We'll go all the way across, and some places will be just a little bit thicker than others. Because really, she needs to be able to write on the whole thing. At the end of the day, wait a minute, we're putting a belly band on here, so we don't need to do the middle. But at the end of the day, anyways, I was gonna say, if it's never enough and you wanna do something different, you can always add some more paper on there too. Okay. There we go. Sorry, I'm getting a little quiet here, but when I'm talking, I'm glopping. Like I glop and talk. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I got the video thing figured out for the most part, but I'm still but now that I have my phone all shut down on everything, I'm like, I told my husband, I go, I don't have any access. So he's like, don't ask me for the map thing. I can't, it's not on my phone. I offloaded everything. And so every time I want to get something, it has to load. And then I think some of the things, they won't even load if I'm not in Wi-Fi. And since I live out in the country, I don't always have that access. So he said, he goes, maybe we should check into like a little camera or something, but I have no idea how much those cost. But I was looking at a couple of them. I thought there's this one that, well, I'm sure there's many, but there's this one that I've seen that has the, where the screen flips out. So I can actually like I can just look up and glance at it and see if I'm in frame. I can see, I don't know, it probably shows a time, that'd be nice. But even if it doesn't, I mean, that's not the big deal. The big deal is being in frame and being able to get be able to use my phone too. I mean, it's pretty, phones nowadays are expensive. It's pretty expensive to just use for this, but it's worth it to me. I really enjoy it. Now look, what do you think? And see, like I said, that dries so fast. Ooh, fingerprint, no. All right, I just popped up again to check the time. So I like that. I still see the green. It's definitely softens it up. I will say that I feel like this is not as standing out now as much as I would like it to here. So maybe we stick it that way instead. Isn't that funny? Like that does it for me. I think it was just that it was just like so light, and so light. I needed something to be darker between this light pink and this white. I think that's what it was. And we can always take a trim. There's always things to do. We can take a little bit more yellow and put that on the edge if we wanted to. We can take some of this maybe. I don't know if it's the right color. I was like, oh, is that my note? We can put some of this. Yeah, that's not gonna do it for me. But there we go. I think I'm gonna go ahead and attach this down. I think that's dry enough. We're gonna use this anyhow. And again, I'm not gonna be super, I'm not gonna be frugal. I can't even think of the word. I'm not gonna be frugal with this. I'm gonna be liberal, right? I mean, is that what it is? I don't know. I'm gonna use plenty of glue. That's all I'm trying to say. Good night. All right, and then I just dropped it down, so that's where it's gonna go. So of course my paper whatever I put in here, 'cause it's only going to go here, but that's okay. And if I want to, I can always add some fun things at the top and the bottom, which I probably will, because I feel like unfinished, and I don't care for that unfinishedness. So I'm just going to leave that there. All right, so we have that in. And let me see, what was the next page? If we have a little bit of time, I think we have a couple minutes, but I don't remember. Oh, we're going to have to do some work. So that's where we're going to create these double hinged Rita flips. We're going to make some journal cards with those. We need to decorate this, and we need to do that frame. So that's quite a bit of decorating and put togethers. So I think we'll wait and do that in the next video. But we can, before we forget, go ahead and attach this little one. Where did my pin cushion go? Okay. So I did some cleaning up. I didn't get as far as I wanted to, but now I have to refine a couple things. I'm just kidding. That's probably what happened to my note. I'm like, I don't know what I did with my note. That's so hilarious. Oh my, is it on the back? No. Okay. I'm just losing it. I found them. I put them aside. And I remember now. I put them up there like, oh, that way I will see them and I won't forget. Here it is. See? In the order of how we're doing this. So I think we're right on target, but the three pocket, the pockets that went right here. Did I put it on the right page? So there was the pocket. Is that the Rita flip? See, I already messed it up. I was gonna do, nope, this is not the right list either. I hope you're enjoying this. I guess I'm still on the struggle bus. My gosh, my goodness. Okay, well anyhow, we'll do that on the next video. Thank you everybody for coming and hanging out with me and watching me flounder through this. But we will come back on the next video, and we're going to decorate these things and add the rest of our sides and tucks and pockets. I will do my very best to pull it together so that it's not as insane as I just now was, and possibly through this whole entire video. But it was a great episode. I did enjoy getting some stuff done. Thank you for crafting with me. I appreciate you so very much. I will see you on the next video, my crafty friends. Bye.